Welcome back. Today we're going to go over different kits and spells that you can use as a player. This is just a kit PvP world where I created a bunch of kits. Pause is needed if you want to read through all the descriptions, but I'm going to go in depth over each one of them with the actual items. There's just a description for all my friends that need to know how to use it. Since I created this, I know all the small details that give me the advantage. A little unfair, but by pressing this button, this just removes all of my tags that I give myself with the different classes, and just teleports me over here, removing all effects as well. So, I have this reset wins counter here. It doesn't reset the player offline, so you have to move them before they leave, or just get rid of the scoreboard objective and add it back in and set the display once more. I created a deathmatch that I'll play you later. All this does is just set a block to air because it's currently at a redstone block. And then this one will set as a redstone block because this one will reset the deathmatch counter, so it's going to activate a command block chain link to just reset the deathmatch, which I'll show you later. Over here we have a shaman kit. And so all I'm doing is teleporting myself into here. This first pressure plate activates this piston, which will push me into the next one, and activating this command block, which closes this chest to fill my items, so it's infinite items I have. And this one will just teleport me over here. So I have some basic gold armor with different levels of enchantments, a sharp 4 gold sword with poison balls, so by throwing these, it emits a little poison with particles as well, and it'll hit any player within 4 or 6 blocks. I forget the exact number. Then an air bomb, I think it only works on players, but what an air bomb will do is once you throw it at a player, it'll give them levitation so that they fly up and take some fall damage. And so that's his different spells for the shaman. He doesn't have any effects, does he? No, he just gets teleported to him. Next up we have our scout. Scout's kind of a basic one. Just iron armor, sword, a multi-shot crossbow with fireworks. In case you didn't know, you can shoot fireworks by just putting it into your offhand right here. And you can triple shot him with this. And it will do damage, but only when it explodes. It won't do damage if it hits the player, but if it hits the blocks behind it, it'll do damage. It's kind of tricky as a weapon, but it's because for Archer, I gave it so that its arrows do special damage. Next up we have our Assassin, which is the weakest of all the classes in terms of defense, but his Sharp 4 Netherite Sword has some insane attack damage, or Sharp 5. This will do the most damage out of any weapon. Basic chicken, some golden apples, and then some invis so he can sneak around, and strength. So he's supposed to be a counter to certain classes, like Archer and some of the weaker ones that have more range, because you can see the assassin. He's just gonna get like 2 shot from some other archers or something. And so now he can fight back with his invis and super high attack damage weapon and melee them. Next up we have the Archer. Archer comes with a little bit more defense than the Assassin, with some protection and some chain over here. Definitely a weaker sword, but it has knockback, so you can knock back your enemies away. And the bow is just a standard power 2. It's not very powerful, but he's also given speed 3 infinitely. And his arrows will actually give off a wither effect. So if I demonstrate this. Anyone that enters an area that's not an archer will feel the wither effects. Since I have the tag of archer, it will not affect me or any other types of archers. Next up, we have the warrior. The warrior is our tanky boy. He has full diamond, no prot, a trident, so he has range and melee, quite outstanding class. It's because his one spell he has is definitely the worst of them all. I mean, it's alright, but when dropping it down with this Iron Golem, so if they keep on bashing you and they accidentally, click on it, this Iron Golem will just slaughter your enemy, or they'll have to be forced to run away, so it's a good defensive option. I'll show you the commands in for a second to do that. I have them all over there with a ticking area so that they constantly run everywhere in the world. I can also show you how to do the ticking area as well. Next up, Wizard. This is one of my personal favorites. It's just got some standard golden with prot. We have a wand and our flying. So the wand summons lightning wherever I'm facing, 9 blocks away. And the flying spell, every time I'm holding this will just give me levitation and slow falling for longer, so I can, gently land where I am going. Also, I'm getting regen every once in a while, the little particle there, just as an added buff, just because this defense was a little bit weak. That's one of my favorite ones, because you just fly around and then just shoot lightning at your opponents. Jedi. This is another personal favorite of mine. So we have different lightsabers. They normally look like lightsabers, but with Education Edition being a little wacky right now with the new update, they're in their glitched form. Quite unfortunate. And then he also has Force Heal and Force Push. So Force Push just basically is an air bomb, but with more of a splash rate. Well, they both have splash, but this one has a larger splash. As you can see with the command blocks, I'll show you how it works. But you just drop the item, and then if you're not a Jedi, it'll force push you away if you're within 10 blocks of the item. And this will you just drop it, and it heals you instantly. With this, since your weapons don't actually have any damage, you're given Strength 6 infinitely, Jump Boost 6, so you're more like a Jedi because they can do all those higher jumps and double jumps. And we'll just teleport you to the map, which I'll go over how to do that as well. Next up we have the Summoner. This one uses a bunch of different mobs that we can use. It comes with a horse and armor inside also. He's gonna look like one of those pro Minecrafters with like diamond horse armor and horse with wolves coming at you. You can also play some creepers and vindicators. So if you want to learn how to get the can be placed on stuff, you have to go through an in-depth command block with the different objectives. Let me show you that right now. So if I get myself a command block, I want to go ahead and give @p a spawn egg. I think 1, that's the amount of spawn eggs. Type 10 is chicken, I know that offhand. And then we want to use this, our Minecraft can place on. Not parentheses, it's quotes, colon, another squiggly bracket, quotes, blocks, quotes, colon, square bracket, and then we want our type of block, which is grass, comma, whatever other type of block we want, like stone, and we want to end it, just do square bracket, squiggly, squiggly. And now it's all correct. Let's give myself a button, test it out. So it's just going to give @p spawn egg 110 for chicken, Minecraft with the quote marks, the can blaze on. Quote marks, colon, square bracket, quotes, blocks, quotes, colon bracket, quotes, grass, quotes, comma, quotes, stone, quotes, and if you want to end it, and this gives us the can place command. So that is how we do the can placing command to get all those different types of spawn eggs that can work in adventure mode, so that players don't destroy your maps. Next up we have Pyro. So Pyro will just be full prot for leather. So prot has a different type of defense. It's a magical defense, so it's stronger against things other players' spells like the shaman spells with those poison balls. He'll take a lot less damage compared to other players with no prot. He's got a fire aspect sword. His flint and steel can be placed on these types of blocks, as shown. And the magma cube just has an added little bugging thing. And then he has permanent fire resistance. He actually has a small health boost too. So a health boost of 3, I believe that's 3 extra arcs. And it'll just teleport the player to the map. After Pyro we have Magician. This one is just filled with fun stuff. So we have this just prot chain armor, and speed pot, and biz pot, biz lingering slowness, weakness, and instant damage 2, and has a normal instant damage 2 splash potion. It's blindness potions. When you throw them, it will damage. It'll do this, and it'll give players that are not magicians blindness for 10 seconds. That are within a certain range of that. Then Ender Pearls, throwing it will give you regeneration. So when you throw it, it'll heal you up quite fast. And he's also given jump boost too, so he can jump over 2 blocks at a time. Next up we have Sith, we're going to ignore that. So Sith has Force Choke. His lightsaber, which is kind of glitched right now, but it still works. Just doesn't, the appearance doesn't work. He has Speed Pot, and he's just got the Prot 4 robes. You have the Sith helmet, battle robe, Sith boots. So when you throw this down, it will give non-Siths really high slowness, and I don't know if it's wither or poison, but it's something, maybe instant damage. It'll slowly I think it's wither. We'll see. I'm not supposed to be flying, but because I still have my tag of wizard by holding an specific I'm not a wizard, but by holding this type of tool, I'm getting the efficiency thing as well as I would for the shovel, which means that it's enchanting with that, so it's going to combine both of those at the same time. But this will just summon lightning 7 blocks away. Now, if you look at all the commands, get all behind this to see how everything works. So for the creeper spell, oh, those aren't actually creepers. So the summoner, I forgot, it's been a while since I played. But every time you place a creeper down, instead of it being a creeper, it turns into a ravager with a evoker riding it. And it just kills a creeper. So if we grab ourselves a creeper egg, this will spawn instead. so that's pretty cool. And then we have this how force heal works. We test for an item, and the name of it, which is this, it has a space and the quotes. And so once it finds this item, because we have conditional on it, only after finding it, it will affect the tag of Jedi, so our Jedi person, with instant health, and then it kills the item, so it can only be used once. This is our flight, so how the wizard flies. We're enchanting the wizard, so it has tag of wizard with fortune. Once it tags them with fortune, so they have to be holding the shovel out to fly, it'll give them levitation for 4 seconds, power of 4, and then it will affect them with slow falling for 16 seconds, so they have plenty of time to get on down. We have true at the end and remove all particles. So with our arrows, we're executing at the arrow a particle, the lava particle. So we're just using particle Minecraft, lava underscore particle, that's all it is. And then we have execute at the arrow. We're affecting at every type of entity besides people tagged archers, so none of the archers will be affected, within a radius of 4 from the arrows. Wither for 2 seconds, power of 2, so wither 2 for 2 seconds. Force lightning, or is enchanting Sith repeatedly with efficiency, so it keeps on stacking it over and over again. And it will execute at our Sith, summoning lightning bolt. So this is our facing coordinates, 7 blocks in the forward direction. If it was -7, it would be 7 behind where they're facing. If it's -7 here, it's to the left. +7 here is to the right. Any number here is the Y level, so whatever height you want it at. War Scream, this might be removed. No wait, that's the Summon Iron Golem. So for the Warriors thing, we're just looking for the entity of War Scream, or the item name, Worm Scream, and we're going to execute at all Summon Iron Golem, Minecraft from Village. You really don't need this since just the basic summoning Iron Golem will make it by default attack other players, but just to be safe, we have the Minecraft spawn event right here to ensure that it will attack players. And this is just our name, name whatever you want. That's the third thing. If it has a space in it, just make sure you include the quotation marks. And then we just kill the item so it only affects it once. Force push works, we're just looking for the item name of force push. And we're going to be affecting, executing at the force push entity, affecting at all besides the Jedi in the range of 10 levitation for 1 second, power of 17 or 18, so they shoot it pretty fast. Let's go over and do Wizard Lightning next. First enchanting the wizard with lure over and over again, and then we're just summoning Lightning Bolt, 9 blocks, which is where you're facing. Shaman Poisons, we're just executing at the snowball with our tildes. The particle of the Minecraft totem particle, because it's very green, so it looks like poison. And we're just going to execute at the snowball, affect at all besides the shamans. We have a tag with the exclamation point, so it's not affecting any shamans, in the radius of 6. So any entities in 6 blocks away from the snowball will get poisoned for 5 seconds. So our air bombs, we're going to be executing at the egg. We're using a particle conduit attack emitter. And then we have our eggs to affect everyone but the shaman. This only works in a radius of 2. I would bump it up to 4 so it works more frequently, because sometimes if it's too low, the egg can be shot right at a person that won't work. And so it just gives them levitation for a bit. The blind potion. So we're going to execute at our XP bottle, and we're going to particle a huge explosion lab mist emitter, so it creates a giant explosion particle all around it. And then we execute at the XP bottle, affect all magicians, or no, all people that are not magician in the range of 10 with blindness for 15 seconds. So we're going to execute at our ender pearl. We're going to give it the particle the conduit attack emitter as well. And then we're just going to affect our magicians with regeneration. We have R of 3, so it doesn't affect any other magicians in the match, only the one throwing it. Force choke. We're just testing for the entity of force choke. And then we're executing at our Sith with the effect of non-Siths in a range of 8 with poison for 4 seconds. And with slowness for 3 seconds. And then this will just kill the item after it's done. This one, we're tagging the Reaper. We're executing at all people, particle, effect, wither. Oh, so there's a class called the Reaper, which I don't think I ever finished. But basically, anyone with, that was standing 5 blocks away from him would get withered just from being next to him. But I don't think that was ever completed. Actually, wait. Never mind. There's 2 more I forgot. So our Reaper is given a scythe with netherite boots, carved pumpkin, so he's not super tanky. And then he's got invis and strength because his weapon's kind of trash. But if you are constantly within him, you will get just absolutely destroyed with the wither effect. I'm going to press this to remove all my tags. And then the netherite class is almost full netherite. We have a gold helmet instead. And this one will just come with the piglins. You have gold, so the piglins won't attack you, they'll attack everyone else besides the wizard and shaman that they're learning. And you also have temporary fire resistance. I forgot those are my newest classes that I added back to it, and that's how we use that spell. In order to keep track of wins, I use sort of a complex system. I'm just testing for all players within my battle arena I have set up there that we built. And these are just the coordinates of a corner. And then we use simple subtraction to figure out our dx. So for x is -74, our dx is -16. We're just subtracting 16 from -74 as our other corner chord. dy, wait, no. That's not the battle arena. It's way too small. I believe that is deathmatch. Yeah, that's her deathmatch arena. So that's going over and looking at that small little area we have over here. And then once there's only 1 player left, let me explain how it works here. So once this finds 1 player, it'll send a signal here, powering through to this. But since it can't go through, there should be a block. Oh, never mind. There should not be. So it's going to send a power here, but it won't go through to this, which will just teleport everyone back to spawn in winner. So this is where the losers are, and we're just going to teleport them back. And this is the one person that's still left in the deathmatch arena, so they'll teleport them over to right here, which has our double pressure plate system. For this one, we'll give them a scoreboard of another win. This one will teleport them back over to spawn. So once there's 2 players, this piston will be pushed out, and then a block will be placed right here. And so that way, when there's only 1 player left, this will retract the block, powering these to go through. That same system works here as well, except these are just the our test 4 region is the chords of our battle arena. This is our deathmatch system. Instead of using a command block clock, we use just item despawn clock. So after 5 minutes, I have it set to, because that's the amount of time it takes for this item to disappear. So send a signal through. This one will just give title everyone deathmatch in 1 minute. Which will start our next redstone clock, which has a little over 2 stacks of items, which equates to about 1 minute. Which will then power up our command blocks, which will just teleport everyone in the arena to our deathmatch. Set block of redstone. So that is going to set this one to redstone right here, because our deathmatch, start deathmatch thing will move this to air, so that one will set this back to redstone. And that third one clones this with our items into here. So it resets perfectly. That should be everything with how my kit PvP world works. If you want to take a look at the map. Oh wait, I gotta explain that in a second. It's just a basic map we built with different types of biomes. So all these kit chambers teleport you over to here, which will then teleport you with a scatter command of the spread players. This is our center coordinate, right above here, and then our range of 3. Radius of 3 puts us within 3 blocks out, so there's 1, 2, 3. So players will only get teleported to a non-lava block or air block, so they'll be forced to get teleported to one of these 9 blocks I've set up. This is credit to another YouTuber, I forgot who it was, it's a long time ago I learned this, but this was his design for the spread players command. Well, that will about do it for today's episode. I hope you learned something new. These are some of my favorite ones to use. It's definitely a very fun build to play on. I have no one here with me to demonstrate any of this in action, but I will see you guys in the next video.